Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video. Today we are in a medieval village that I've started on our 1.18 survival world, as you can see. And I want to add detail to it. And it's easy enough to add detail to one build. You add in some windows, you add in like a door, you add in some like structure. You know, it's fairly simple. You add some overhang, but then you have to tie different builds together and add detail to an area as a whole, otherwise it just sort of looks like a building and another building and another building, and they're all very separate. And I have a bit of an ideas board going on. I want to add some hay bale stacks around, some animal troughs, some dirt piles, some crop patches and like some fencing around it, and some gravel patches. So I want to tie in the agricultural bit of it by adding in some like crop patches and stuff, and some like dirt and whatnot to make it look like animals have been there, and some animal troughs that they can drink out of. But the first thing I want to do is tie everything together with some coarse dirt like I've done here, because that just adds in a little bit of path, and it'll just add in just that little bit of connectedness, and we'll just start to tie the village together. So I'm going to dig out some paths here, and we will see how that goes. I've also marked out an entrance to the town here, so I'm going to bring in the paths all the way to the entrance. So now I've added in pathways that goes right down the middle of right down the side of the town, I guess, towards the castle. And that will go into the castle, I would assume, but I'm not going to do that right now. What I want to do now is add in animal troughs and piles of hay bales, just to give that agricultural feel, and make it feel like it's like a rural town that has sort of like lots of animals wandering around, So just piles like this, and I put an animal trough in here, with some stairs and some trapdoors, like that. And I will also fill it with water, just for that added detail. It just adds a little bit of life to it. And I'll add another animal trough here. And I'm just gonna add like random hay bales around. And I'm also gonna build this building. I've done a thing where I built like a kelp farm, and I'm going to build 2 buildings to cover it rather than just one, because one would be far too big. So I built one building here, and I'll build another smaller one here. Haven't quite finished that one off yet, but that's okay. And then what I also would like to do is to add in a cellar here. So I'm just going to add in some trapdoors here, like it's going down to a cellar, and surround it with spruce slabs at that end. So presumably if you opened it up, it would go down into a cellar, but it's just there for decoration, at the moment at least. Actually, that's a bit wide, maybe we just do one. There we go, cellar. And then that would go down, but it obviously doesn't. The next thing I'd like to do is to just add in some crop patches. What I'm going to do for that is I'm just going to put in some water underneath the buildings, and then sort of like hoe patches around that. And over here it might be something a little bit more obvious, like I will put like fences around it and stuff. And I cover water up using spruce slabs, and then I just put a torch on top. Maybe I'll change that for a lantern later. Actually, I will change that for... Spruce fences don't really work right there, so maybe not. Then I'll put carrots in this one, and then I'll put in some fences around it. And another thing I really like doing is adding in granite walls around these sorts of things. So that's a little patched. It'll look better once it's grown up. And over here I'm going to do the same thing. These water troughs are really coming in handy. So we have more organized crop circles over here, and then over here we just have some less organized ones that I'll probably dot around a little bit more. because I also want to give that sort of like a little bit overgrown feel, so adding in a little bit of unorganized crops just adds in the extra feeling of it's a farming town, you know? So you don't need to add in many details for something to become detailed, per se. All we've done is added in some paths, some hay bales, a little bit of crops around the joint, and some animal troughs, and it already looks great. I'm just going to add in a little bit of gravel here and there, just so it looks, just so that there's a little bit of variation. And I do have some rooted dirt to add in as well in piles. And you can also see that I have replaced the torch spam with some granite walls with a lantern on it. It just adds to the feel and it makes it feel more established. And I've also just dotted these around, not on granite posts, just to clear up any dark patches like around the hay bales and such where I found that. And all of these additions just make it look a little bit more put together, especially now that the crops have all grown up. It just makes it feel more of one build because you can see crops here, you can see crops over there, there's hay bales around, and there's a path linking everything up. So yeah, just small additions add a lot of value to your builds, and detailing sort of things in a group rather than just each individual building is a really great way to make your builds just sort of seamlessly integrate with the environment around them. If you have enjoyed this video, leave a like, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you very soon for another video.